You know this is death. And with that realization, an intense rush of emotion swells beneath you, raising you up until you find yourself hovering above your own limp body. You see yourself being lifted up by two hooded men and placed carefully on the stone altar, as Matthew struggles in a futile attempt to escape his captors and reach your side. From above, you try to get Matthew's attention. "I'm here. I'm fine. Please don't worry," you beg. But you are slipping further and further away as Matthew gives up and stands stricken with shock and overwhelming dread. A wave of loss swells beneath you, suddenly lifting you higher and higher, until it seems that time and space can no longer contain you, as you plunge into the depths of an unknown yet strangely familiar realm. You know you're both dead and alive, and you wonder what you should do. As if summoned by your thoughts, your best friend Delilah, who had died in a car crash, is instantly standing by your side. The moment you see her familiar dark hair, boyish haircut, and look into her beautiful warm brown eyes, you find yourself staring in disbelief. "I can't believe you're here. I thought I'd never see you again. And you're not a kid anymore. You look like you're 20. And you're so beautiful. Did you turn into an angel or something?" you say, bubbling with excitement as you hug Delilah. "Wait, you can't be an angel. You're solid. I just hugged you," you add in amazement. Delilah bursts into laughter. "You're no longer in the game program, Amelia. There's a whole new world waiting for you now," she says, her eyes bright. "What about Matthew? He's so sad. He has no idea I'm alive," you say, looking at him longingly. "You can stay here as long as you'd like, but there's nothing you can do. He can't see or hear you," says Delilah, gently taking your hand. As you continue staring at Matthew, you suddenly become aware of a blue-white light surrounding you and permeating everything as far as you can see. Then, to your amazement, you watch as the light gathers itself into an immense sphere of concentrated white light that turns sapphire as it radiates out. As if you are watching a holographic educational film, you are shown how this blue-white sphere propels each player's soul into their avatar body while in their mother's womb. And a small amount of this light exists within each player, connecting every player to this source of light and to each other throughout the entire game. This invisible light force gives life to each player, beating their hearts, healing their wounds, and breathing each breath until they die out of the game. And in that final moment, the light within each player is drawn out of the avatar body by the blue-white sphere, which then launches the player's soul essence into the spirit world. You understand that this is what happens every time, and though you can stay as long as you care to, you suddenly feel disconnected from the earthly scene and ready to let go. Delilah understands your wishes immediately. "Here, take my arm. You can put your arms around me. This might seem a bit overwhelming, so it's okay if you close your eyes. But I promise you there's nothing to fear." As you take Delilah's arm and close your eyes, a floating sensation drifts through your body, as if you are dissolving and expanding all at once, with every moment holding infinite possibilities. Your mind is perfectly clear and alert, and you have this sense that you are moving rapidly. But after a short while, your movement slows down, and soon you feel solid ground beneath your feet. "Open your eyes," says Delilah, giving your hand a light squeeze. You are in a large park, standing on soft green grass, facing a huge sign. "What's this?" you say. Delilah laughs. "It's a little between lifetimes reminder you created for yourself. Read it. See if you remember." You read the sign aloud. "Game reminders, details every player will forget. The game is known throughout the universe as the Great Experiment. Forgetting who you are and your purpose for being there is part of the experiment. Just like any drama, the more that goes wrong, the more you like it. Note, please remember this is only true in the playwright phase. Your enthusiasm for problems will shift dramatically when you are playing the part you wrote for yourself. Dramas that change you are essential for playing at higher levels. You will be afraid of change, and things change. Is there any way I could take that with me into the program next time?" you say, laughing. "I think it would help me a lot more there than here." "Well, you memorize it every time you're between games. Who knows?" says Delilah, giggling. "It might just stick one of these times." "Where are we exactly?" you say. "Many people call this the spirit world, because everything we experience here is created instantly in the spirit of how we think, act, and feel." "So that's why everything's so beautiful?" you exclaim, finding it hard to believe your eyes. "In this place, yes," says Delilah. "But this isn't the only place that exists. There are places here that accommodate all thoughts and beliefs, because the spirit world is a world of thought that takes immediate form. In other words, whatever you believe, you will see instantly." "Come, there's so much I want to show you," says Delilah, holding out her hand. "We can travel as quickly as we're able to imagine where we want to go. But since you're new at this and you've never been where we're about to go, we'll hold hands." You smile, nod, and take her hand. In the next moment, you are standing in front of several stately buildings. But unlike cities, where the buildings stand side by side with little space between them, each building is surrounded by magnificent gardens with tall trees and glittering crystal-clear pools of water, which reflect all the colors of the rainbow, as well as colors never seen on earth. "These are the halls of learning," says Delilah, spreading her arms wide. "This entire city is devoted to the study and practice of the arts. Everything is free and available to everyone. Would you like to start with the Hall of Painting?" You nod your head enthusiastically as Delilah takes your arm and excitedly leads you inside. You step into a long gallery where every masterpiece known on earth is hanging before you. "These paintings are the direct result of the thoughts of the artist," says Delilah. "Each painting created here is an exact duplication of the artist's imagination, what they envisioned prior to actually transferring their ideas to canvas on earth. So if the artist was imagining a certain color that wasn't available at the time, the color shows up here exactly as imagined." As you walk to another part of the building, you stop to watch the art students. Being an artist takes on a whole new meaning when you can create easily, effortlessly, and quickly, says Delilah enthusiastically. You'll discover that you already know every method and technique necessary. "How is that possible?" you ask. "There are no earthly restrictions or physical limitations here," says Delilah happily. "Whatever you can imagine, you can create. Come on, I know how much you like to read and write. I'm taking you to the Hall of Literature, says Delilah, taking your hand. Instantly, you're standing in a light-filled library composed of small rooms. You can read the books, or you can simply hold a book and feel the contents, says Delilah. What does that mean? You ask. Well, try it. Here, says Delilah, taking a book off the shelf. Don't look, just hold it and tell me what happens. Blinking in astonishment, you say, It's a history book, but it's not like any book I've ever read. It's in 2 parts. The first part is American history. I know a lot of this from school, but I feel like I'm at a computer that could answer any question I ask, and that I could ace any test I have to take. But the strange thing is that right alongside the history I'm familiar with is the actual truth of what happened. You say, amazed that you can comprehend everything all at once. Some of Earth history has been passed on by those who are ignorant of the facts, says Delilah. But more often than not, the truth has been suppressed through deliberate intent. Every word contained in the books is literal truth, because nothing but the truth can enter into the spirit realm. You smile and say, I can't believe what I'm seeing. The people responsible for historical misinformation on Earth are the ones who write the true history in all of these books. Yes, says Delilah, and they're always happy to do it and set the record straight. Then, as if she had just received a message in her mind, Delilah says, Oh, there's a concert that's about to begin. Taking your hand, she leads you out the door, across an expansive lawn, and past a vast amphitheater sunken down beneath the ground like a gigantic bowl. Looking over the edge, you see the concert halls surrounding the stage, with hundreds of rows rising upwards and seating for thousands of people. The seating farthest away from the performers is on the lawn at ground level, and the entire area is surrounded by the most beautiful flowers of every color and hue, while the outermost borders had magnificent trees. Let's sit here on the grass. I know it's far away from the performers, but I think you'll be happily surprised, says Delilah with a mysterious smile. Leaning back on her elbows, she adds, Just like the Hall of Painting, the College of Music has a library containing every masterwork ever created on Earth, as well as altered versions created by the original composers, based on newfound inspiration. You can learn every branch of music from theory to practice. That sounds wonderful. I love music. I really do, you say. I've always wanted to just sit at the piano and start playing, but as you remember, I never made it past chopsticks. I think it's just that I don't have the patience to be a beginner. Well, you're going to love being a musician here, says Delilah, grinning. You'll discover that you already have the necessary dexterity in your hands and you know every technique, so you can skip right to the creativity part. Before you know it, you'll have the mastery to join an orchestra, or you can be a solo performer, or just play for the fun of it. Almost as if by magic, a great audience materializes all at the same moment. And then over 200 musicians take their places as the conductor steps up to the podium. How does the audience manage to appear just like that? You say, fascinated by the timing and precision involved. The organizers simply send out their thoughts to the people who are particularly interested in this concert. That's how I got the message. And everyone just shows up at the appointed time, whispers Delilah. The moment the music starts, a sheet of bright light begins rising up from the orchestra and continues until it is level with the uppermost seats. The light then grows in strength and intensity and rises up until it looks like a solid dome ceiling of iridescent, shimmering light, covering the entire amphitheater and the park itself. Because the amphitheater is below ground level, you can't see the audience or the players in the symphony, but you can see, hear, and feel music as never before. You lay back on the grass and watch as the coloring of the dome responds like a chameleon and changes from one shade to another, as if it knows how to intuitively blend a number of colors according to the theme or movement of the music. Even when the music ends, the rainbow colors continue interweaving with each other, then finally fade away in the same amount of time it would take for a rainbow to disappear from Earth's sky. Quietly, Delilah says, "Here, all music is color, and all color is music." Students don't just learn about music acoustically, they learn to build light and color architecturally. You smile and already imagine yourself studying at the Hall of Music. "Come, I want to show you something," says Delilah, leaping to her feet and offering you her hand as she leads you to some nearby flowers. You kneel together in front of the flowers, and Delilah cups her hands around a white lily. "Do it like this," she says, as you mirror her. Your face lights up. Not only is the lily vibrant and fragrant, you can hear a lovely tone that emanates from the flower. The combination fills you with a gentle yet life-giving force. You try this with other flowers and discover every color has a matching tone, and all the colors and tones harmonize perfectly with one another. Delilah leads you to a bubbling brook which is singing too, and exhaling a life-giving force that perfectly combines with the colors and sounds from the grass and flowers on its shores. Even the rocks are singing. As you walk along the brook, Delilah points to a large, elegant building and says, "That's the Hall of Science. There you'll find every scientific study and discovery, and solutions to every unsolved earthly mystery. Every new invention, every new discovery originates here and is sent via thought form to open-minded scientists on Earth. Sometimes humanity benefits, but because these inventions have often been perverted or used against mankind in some way, the inventions have been held back until only recently. However, an entirely new generation of game players has been coming to Earth over the past 20 to 30 years. They aren't trapped in the old paradigm. Their hearts and minds are balanced. And that's why you may have noticed so many teenage prodigies making phenomenal discoveries." Delilah takes your hand and says gently, "You do know you need to go back, right?" "Go back?" you say, puzzled. "Go back where?" "Back into the game," says Delilah. "Oh, no, 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 no," you say fervently. "There's nothing I can do if I go back. It's impossible to do anything or change anything or help anyone. And besides, I love it here. It's better than any heaven I could ever have imagined. I mean, I was afraid of death. I was afraid that Matthew would die, but now I'm not afraid." Warmly, Delilah says, "Everything that has happened to you is all part of what you programmed before playing the game, even your trip here to the spirit world. But you planned to go back to help Matthew, because, you see, he won't die for quite some time." "What will happen to him?" you say desperately. I can't tell you that, but it won't be anything like your experience here. Noticing the horrified look on your face, Delilah says, I wasn't going to tell you this, because this is something you only discover when you're fully out of the program, with no chance of going back into your lifetime. But this is important. Right now, there are parallel versions of you. There's a version that went back and experienced past lifetimes, or more accurately, past games you've played, and so on. There's no limit to how many parallel games you can play at the same time. Everything happens simultaneously, but it's even more than that, says Delilah slowly. You are capable of playing every character in your game simultaneously, with no knowledge that you're doing it, at least while you're on Earth. You narrow your eyes. That's not possible. I don't know what other people are thinking or doing. How could I play the game for them, even if I could get my head around it? Delilah smiles and says, Okay, I'm going to tell you, but only because you won't consciously remember any of this when you return to your physical avatar. Taking a deep breath, she continues, When you're in your avatar body, you completely forget that there's another aspect of you that's multidimensional. This real you is like the ocean, and the part of you playing the game would be equivalent to a drop of seawater. You mean like same qualities, different capabilities? You say, shaking your head. That's it exactly, says Delilah, laughing. So the quantum player that you are is capable of playing every character in your game in multiple realities all at the same time. Sort of like the way the ocean can handle every drop of water. Okay, that's totally tripping me out, you say. All right, I'll make it simple, says Delilah. Pretend you and your quantum player are like identical twins going out onto the ocean in a glass-bottomed boat. You put on all the necessary equipment for deep-sea diving and jump in, while your twin stays in the boat and observes what's happening below. She might suggest that you turn to the left to see a pod of dolphins, or she might warn you to be careful of the sea urchin you're about to step on. But it's up to you what you want to do. Are you saying that this quantum me has been playing the role of every person I've ever met? You say, wincing. I'm saying the quantum you is capable of playing all those parts. But that doesn't mean that's what you choose every time. Sometimes you might kick back and play as a drop of water, or a puddle, or a stream, or a lake. And sometimes you might want to be the entire ocean. You are completely unlimited. When you're on Earth, your thoughts and feelings create your experience. But there's a time lag, usually about a month, which gives you the opportunity to make new choices and refocus. You can observe cause and effect. And the program teaches you how to play while you're actually playing the game. Here in the spirit world, your thoughts, feelings, and beliefs are created instantly. It's as if you broadcast a signal, and everything you see, every experience you have, is a match to that signal. So everywhere you go here, it's beautiful like this? You say, admiring the view. Well, everything for you is beautiful, but every person creates their own experience. So the environment that surrounds each individual is a perfect match to what they deeply believe at the time of death. They instantly see an outpicturing of where their attention is focused and what they truly believe, and they see and experience others with matching thought forms. For instance, if a person was cruel or cared nothing for others, No matter how religious or powerful or successful they may have appeared to be on earth, when they come here they live in a world of their own making, a world that is uncaring or cruel. Thy will be done is the prime directive in the spirit world as well as on earth. But here everything happens instantly. There's no pretending. You are who you are. And you see a world that perfectly mirrors whatever you deeply believe. And this is what Thomas is afraid of. He can send remote viewers anywhere within the game program, but he can't penetrate the spirit world. That's why he sent you here. But I'm sure that Thomas was behind the satanic ritual. He wanted me dead. That's why I'm here, you say fervently. Yes, Thomas wanted you in the spirit world. But if you think about it, your body is unharmed. And that's because he wants you back. I refuse to do anything for him, you say angrily. He knows that, says Delilah knowingly. But you would do anything for Matthew.